Hi, welcome to PI Exchange. I'm Mark Michelson, Editor-in-Chief of Printing Impressions. I'm honored to have with me today Mary Lee Schneider, who's the President and CEO of SG360. Welcome, Mary Lee.
Thanks, Mark. Glad to be here.
What are some of the vertical markets that SG360 serves?
Sure. We're very, very fortunate. We serve many different vertical markets. We're not overweighted in any one, which I think helped us a lot back in the 2000, 2008, 9, 10 timeframe, when a lot of folks who might have been really saturated in banking and mortgage and credit cards really had a tough time. So retail is one of our bigger segments. We are in the financial services space, manufacturing, consumer packaged goods. If you think about the roughly 10 different verticals that companies like Compeer Media cover, tobacco, et cetera, I think we are pretty well represented in every one of those verticals from a direct mail and a commercial print perspective.
You're one of the largest direct mail printers in the country. How do you view the current state of the market in general?
It's very, very interesting. I think that in 2017, I think a lot of us got surprised with kind of fourth quarter. If you recall back in the fourth quarter of 2017, there was a view that it was going to be a terrible Christmas season, and I think people held back a little bit on mailing and so on and so forth. It ended up being, I think, one of the best holiday seasons in the last 10 years. We've definitely seen a bounce back up in the first half of 2018. We also see, I think finally, which has been terrific, where our customers' data, the customers have now learned how to really effectively leverage and utilize their data to design and create very highly personalized direct mail pieces. So we see a big increase on the digital print side, as well as on the hybrid side, where we have variable inkjet imaging going across a wide web, a traditional M1000, M110, M4000, all of those types of presses. So we see kind of a nice resurgence, or at least a nice utilization of personalization in our customers' printed products.
That sophisticated personalization capabilities, that's really driving response rates as well.
It is, absolutely. If you follow some of the DMA statistics, I think it was January or February, they do the look back of 2017 and they look at the look forward for 2018. And I found it very interesting that from 2015 to 2017, response rates improved 38% for house lists or house lists, and then for prospects, it went up almost threefold, 200% increase in response rate. So it shows that direct mail continues to be an enduring part of the kind of the omni-channel marketing mix.
Well, as a company, SG360 has really been at the forefront, both on the production inkjet as standalone devices, but also, as you mentioned, inkjetting lines on your web offset presses.
Right.
Why do you think, or where do you see the inkjet market moving, and why do you remain at the forefront of that?
For us, you always have to kind of have that continuum of customization and offer the right technology for the customer at the right price, given the run lengths, coverage, quality, all those things. So we're going to continue to invest in the technology that makes sense for our customers. So in fact, on our hybrid presses, where we have Kodak, we have HP, and we have Fuji Samba heads, all on the same presses, firing from the same controller. We'll continue to evaluate inkjet technology and swap out that technology as we see fit. By the same token, we'll look at standalone inkjet technology, and we'll be adding some capacity there next year, and of course, wet and dry toner technology. So you really do have to continue to invest. It's a capital-intensive business. It's also fast-moving. And you have to always be out there making sure that you're bringing kind of best-in-breed solutions to customers. In fact, we like to consider ourselves, while we're one of the three largest direct mail printers out there when you take statements out of the mix, we like to pride ourselves on complex project management. So whether it be digital print, traditional print, or complex kitting, fulfillment, die cutting, all those things, we have within our environment, we have all of those capabilities.
Oh, you certainly devote a lot of capital expenditures toward inkjet, but in the last, I think about 3 years or so, you installed 3 Komori sheet-fed lithrone presses. How are you deploying those presses in your mix?
They're a vital and a critical part of our mix. In fact, if I had to look at our asset base right now, probably the busiest set of assets we have are our Komori UV presses, as well as our digital presses. that's where we've seen a tremendous amount of growth.
You've upgraded those with different color measurement devices and those types of things to keep them as
Right.
automated as possible.
Yes, closed loop color. We've done a lot with coatings and varnishes. It's been great to have Komori kind of close by in Rolling Meadows because we can kind of pick their brain and avail ourselves of their knowledge around some different projects we've had. And again, we'd like to say we have some secret sauce to do things very differently. And they've been great partners helping us take that investment we made really over the last 6-7 years really to the next level, which has been great. And we've outfitted all of our presses, both sheet fed as well as traditional offset web and sheet fed, and the digital presses, plus all of our finishing lines with direct to machine interfaces. So we really are using data to run our business and drive our business very differently now.
How are your customers responding? You mentioned like the special varnishes and coatings and different embellishments. I mean, there seems to be a real strong industry emphasis on that right now.
Customers want to differentiate themselves in the mailbox, and I think, kind of another compelling statistic is that something like 63% of all millennials love to get direct mail. And I think because, what used to be direct mail from 10, 12 years ago is very different now, again, in terms of that treatment, that outer envelope, with various embossings and grits and other types of feels that we feel like we have, again, some secret sauce on. So it's not just what's on the outside of the envelope, but obviously opening it up in a very compelling, personalized offer. I think it's a great kind of killer combo.
Just as a closing question, how do you think SG360 kind of separates itself in the market from, which is a very competitive industry, frankly?
Yeah, it's interesting. So we compete, really, we kind of face a two-front war every day, right? We compete on a national level against some of the bigger players out there, and then we also compete on the local or the regional level. And I think, I guess the best way to put it, how we compete well is when we can get a customer to come visit our various facilities here in the Chicagoland area. About 70% of the time we convert them, when we get prospects in, we can convert them to customers about 70% of the time, which is terrific. And I think a large part of that is the fact that they can see a lot of different complexity in a lot of different facilities, but all being kind of centrally managed and centrally overseen. And I think that gives them a lot of comfort that we have control over all aspects of the project.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Mary Lee. And to all our viewers watching PI Exchange, we'll see you next time.